USC, man, good for you, Lincoln Riley, 31-13 over Michigan. Two-Chalai game, okay? It's not a game, again, that I think the public will talk about weeks and weeks from now. It was a helmet game of the year candidate, though. How beautiful was that? What a blessing to have 4K. Some of you are up to 8K, and you got color TV there, and just biggest screen in the house, put it on, and you got Michigan in the Coliseum against Southern Cal on a Saturday afternoon, bright sunshine. Awesome. If you were watching a college football game yesterday, that's the one I kind of wanted you watching to get a taste of what it's supposed to look like and feel like. Lincoln Riley needed this game so bad. You know it. I know it. He needed it so bad. Question. Do you remember those stats that were floating around last year about USC and one-possession games? And how many one-possession games? What was it, Jesse? Like 4 or 5 one-possession games. They led in the fourth quarter. They ended up losing the game. And then remember we had Lincoln on the show in the spring, and he said, we're close, we're close, we're close. And I said, you know, a lot of people think you're full of it. I said this to him. I said, what would you say to them? And he said, well, I would ask them if they watched our games last year. We were close in every game. So we're not where we want to be, but we're not far away. Okay, so now you hit pause at that moment. You just bookmark that because you know the season's going to come. And I remember we had a subsequent show, and I said, you know what would absolve that stat from even being necessary to be quoted? Win games by multiple possessions. So how do you keep the one possession stat at bay? Paper popper of a stat. The best stat of all, the scoreboard. Just win the game by 18. That's how. It's a great thing they figured out there. There is a difference, though. This is where I'm going to draw some criticism, probably. There is a difference between an impressive win and a statement win. This was not the statement win for Southern Cal, but it's a very impressive win. I'll tell you what the statement would be in just a second. But it's impressive because Maiyava gave us exactly what we needed at quarterback. 25-32, 265, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. But I'll tell you what was more impressive. Maiyava's 78% completion. Yes, that's good. What's more impressive is USC did what Michigan was supposed to do. And that's a sentence that I want to just take some time to restate. USC played the game Michigan is supposed to play. Because if there's a team that's going to carry it 36 times for 224 and 2 touchdowns, if they're going to have runs of 49 yards, 47 yards, and 29 yards, that is supposed to be Michigan. And it was USC. And I'm golf clapping them all night for that. And they also, for good measure, held Michigan to 3.5 yards per carry. And Michigan's longest run was 13 yards. And that right there is something USC football has not done in a long time. So that is very impressive. It's not the statement. It is not the statement. Not quite yet. I'll tell you what the statement would be. Hey, wait just a second. I appreciate you guys watching. Most of you are subscribed. If you're not, please do so. It's free. It helps us keep the show free, and that's how we do college football year-round. All right, back to the video. I think it's coming together on defense, though. And it's better late than never, and it's still got a little ways to go. Make no mistake. All right, Michigan cannot throw the ball very well. You will be tested more thoroughly, maybe as soon as this week, but the defense is coming together. They held Michigan to 2 of 11 on 3rd and 4th down. They had 3 sacks. They had 2 picks. Again, these are numbers that we haven't seen USC defense put up in a long time. Michigan's sort of in a weird spot, are they not? Michigan is 4-2. They could go 9-3. They could go 8-4. I'm going to say this. That's not going to be good enough for some people at Michigan. If it's a 9-3 or 8-4, I'm not telling you how I feel about it because you know that coaching changes are always a last resort for me. This day and age more than ever. I don't think that's where Michigan's head's at. I think there are some people around the Michigan program that would look at 9-3 and certainly would look at 8-4 and say, we're making a change. And I'm telling you that if that happens, not to be too surprised by it. So they can control that by winning. If they don't run the table and they go 9-3 or worse, there's going to be some noise. And it's not noise that I necessarily think the entire country's focused on right now because they're looking elsewhere. Just keep Michigan on the back burner there. Now, a lot can happen there. Trust me, a lot can happen there. Statement win. That's what they're calling this for USC. I want to be respectful. This was a very impressive win for USC. Extremely impressive for all the reasons I just detailed. It is not a statement win. The statement is going to have to be made this Saturday. You don't make a statement, again, all due respect to the performance, by beating a team you're favored against at home. You make a statement by going on the road, multiple time zones away to South Bend, Indiana, this Saturday, and facing a very resurgent Notre Dame team, a team that thinks it's going to outclass you physically, and beating them. That's how you make the statement. That's when you know USC is a prime playoff contender, because they're on the fringe of being that right now. You make the statement this weekend. You just were impressive yesterday. The statement comes in 6 days. The opportunity to make the statement comes in 6 days, because I'm telling you, if they go to USC and they beat if they go to Notre Dame and they beat Notre Dame, that removes Notre Dame from the playoff. So first off, you beat a rival. Secondly, you knocked them out of the playoff, which frees up a playoff spot for you or anyone else. And fourthly, you solidified yourself as a playoff contender. Can you imagine what the USC-Oregon game looks like if the dust settles this Saturday night and USC has won on the road in South Bend? Can you imagine the ghosts and the demons that are vanquished over there in Los Angeles on that plane ride home if they do that? Chad Bowden, by the way, left Notre Dame as the GM to be the GM at USC. Can you imagine what this week is like for him? Big week. This is the statement week. Make no mistake about it. This is the statement week, one way or another. When you stop at Quick Trip, like dozens and dozens of you tag me every day, make sure you tag them. Quick Trip Joe's phone should be inundated with people tagging me and Quick Trip in your visits. But where are we going this week is what everyone wants to know. It's a little pretentious. Some people probably want to know where we're going this week. Well, let me tell you where the Fall Don't Lie tour is going this week. Right down the street to Vanderbilt. Because I promised those people at Vanderbilt, if you win, we will be there. And they have started winning. And we went to a game last year, and they're still winning, and we're going to go to a game this year. LSU's in town this week. LSU's in town. LSU off a win against South Carolina last night that we'll talk about later. Vandy's off a bye. I happen to believe Vandy is a very good team that has another run in them, but we'll see. They're a slight favorite at FanDuel. Yes, you heard me right. Vanderbilt is favored slightly against LSU. We'll be there. Nashville, Tennessee. We're going all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. Good people in Nashville. Jesse, you got some people in Nashville, don't you?